Welcome to the weekly market view. My name is Nick Lewis and I work on the dealing desk, and I'm joined by Angus Campbell, who's the head of market analysis. Hi Angus.
Hi Nick, how are you doing?
Good, thank you. Let's start by talking about the market rally. What do you think has been the main driver for this, particularly after last week's negativity?
Yeah, well exactly. I mean, the sentiment really has turned around on a sixpence, as it were. And you know, only a week ago we thought that we were going to plunge to new depths and enter a new bear market, but absolutely things have really turned around. I think there's a number of factors. I think that there's potential that we could be, moving into this final phase of the year, which tends to be quite bullish for stock markets anyway, but a sentiment, bit of maybe early Christmas rally. We've also got Thanksgiving this week. That historically quite a sort of bullish time for equities. But I suppose the major factors are, this Greece situation, US fiscal cliff. Things just seem to have got a little bit more positive around those issues. Obviously, they pushed the Greece decision to next week. We're almost certain to get a decision, whatever happens, then, to avoid them from defaulting. And there are sort of tentative signs that US fiscal cliff, politicians there across the pole are going to come to some sort of agreement and avoid a mass recession. And then there's a third thing today, sort of FTSE push towards 5,800. And
back to an old favourite level.
Back to a favourite level, and maybe not as psychological as, say, the 6,000, but that Chinese manufacturing data which came out
last night,
that PMI number, which it went back above 50, suggesting expansion. And on the whole, I think the Chinese situation tends to be looking a little bit more positive, and a lot of people now sort of maybe thinking there is no chance of a hard landing, and so we've seen suddenly from mass sell-off to risk back on, which is really interesting. But I suppose for you, how do you think that the clients?
Well, I think the clients had a good week this week. I think you're right. The sentiment was quite weak towards the end of last week, but our clients were buying into the dips, looking for opportunities to invest more in the market and pay dividends this week, particularly Monday. Very good day for them, good turnaround market. Fuel, we saw further buying rather than selling, and it's only really now, as you said, we've got the FTSE back to that 5,800 level, that we've started to see the book squaring out a bit again. So I think it's been a good week for clients. I think they recognise that central banks are trying to hold the market stable and are doing all they can to protect it. There are times when external factors, as you said, fiscal cliff, I think was the big story last week, which put the market into a bit of a tailspin. Greece to an extent, but the central banks, whenever they get their chance, do try and support the market, and our clients have been backing them. I think you're right. I think the end of year has always been traditionally a good rally time, and Thanksgiving is quite often the start of it. Probably some squaring off of short positions coming into what is the long weekend for them already, and it's only Wednesday. But the markets shut early today. Markets are shut today, shut early tomorrow. Traditionally, a very festive time for Americans. Quite low volume times.
So clients, just literally in the last 24 hours, have they been selling back into the strength?
I don't know. I don't think we've seen selling into the strength. I think we've seen a bit of profit taking. I think we saw buying sort of tail end of last week. Didn't see too much selling into the good rally Monday. Started to see squaring out of positions towards the tail end of the week, and I think. Our book is quite flat. I think clients are fairly neutrally positioned now as we come into the long weekend. I would expect to see a start of buying interest, as you said, towards the end of the year rally.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah. Okay, well, that's very nice to get the client perspective as well. Thanks very much, Nick. That's really interesting.
Thank you.